it is a windy and kind of nasty day today. We got a few things that we're going to do today. In this video, I intend to knock out draining and refilling the cooling system with DexCool, replacing the thermostat, replacing the distributor cap, the rotor bug, and the plug wires. And then that's probably going to be it for today. We're going to jump on the trailer. We're going to grab the trailer, try to go down, pick up the bed and the door for this truck, and then probably after that, and editing this video, I got to head to New Mexico. So let's get this started. To start with, we've got a drain cock right down there. It's difficult to see, but it's right there. We need to undo that with a drip pan underneath and drain the cooling system first. All right, so we got the drip pan under here. Now it's just a matter of maneuvering, loosening the drain cock, and hoping it all goes in the pan. Next, we're going to have to remove this clamp. We're going to have to remove this. And then we're going to have to take off this bracket right here. We've got a bolt here. And then we've got a bolt back on the other side that pops off this thermostat housing that runs to the upper radiator hose back here. So we're going to start with loosening this clamp. We're also going to loosen the upper radiator hose clamp. There's a wing nut right here we need to pull off. We have a 10 millimeter here, and this isn't even tight. $10 millimeter here, and then we should be able to remove this bracket. Slide that out of the way. Pull this upper hose off. Sometimes it needs some inspiration, so occasionally I will use a screwdriver just to get under there and free it up. But if that doesn't work, you can always use some channel locks. Just like that. There you have it. We'll get that clamp that fell later. Next we need to work on, I believe these are two 13 millimeters. Now keep in mind, I don't know if this just doesn't have a thermostat at all, or if it's got the wrong thermostat. But oh, that is a difficult one to get to back there. what I can tell you is that the truck is not heating up to proper operating temperature. So definitely something going on under there that we need to take a look at. Never hurts to change the thermostat anyway. It could just be the thermostat stuck open too. I mean, hard to say. It does have a thermostat. We will pull this off. Again, sometimes some of these parts need a little help. Someone used silicone. Are you kidding me? So it does have a thermostat. It's got chunks of crud in it. This is the right temperature thermostat, 195 degrees. See if we can get you a closer look at this here. See all the crud down in there? Not good, that's nasty. All right, so the next fun part is getting the distributor cap off. And you're probably looking going, I don't even see a distributor cap. Well, it's right here underneath this wire loom with all these plugs on it. So because of the way this is set up, what I'm gonna do is something I usually wouldn't do. I don't like doing it this way, but this is in such a tight spot. We're going to literally just pull the plug wires off. As you can see, we're pulling this. These are the spark plug wires we're pulling off right here. Normally I like to keep everything in order, but this is just cramped. And I'm not going to go through changing all the spark plugs with you. It's really a pretty simple job. There's no sense in just spending all the time doing all of them. We'll do like 2. It's so difficult to see this, but right here is the distributor cap. We got to pull all these plug wires off, and then there's a coil wire hidden somewhere. It's on the other side. I didn't see it. This is the coil right here. Pull that off, toss that out of the way, and now this wire loom is just in the freaking way. We've got a couple of torque screws. I can't even get the GoPro back here. We got a couple of torque screws we gotta take care of to get that cap off. So I got my little Torx bit right here. This should fit. It's just a matter of climbing around under the engine bay. There's one of the torque screws right here. We're going to do the easy one first. I almost laugh as I say easy. There's no such thing as easy. The other torque screw should be right here. All right, the cap is off. Now we have to get it out. There it is. We'll take a closer look at that. The rotor bug looks like it is screwed on as well. Of course it is. Take off the extension here. Let's see if we can do it with just... Well, I'm having a difficult time getting the rotor bug off of here. God, the last thing you want is to strip out one of these torque screws, man. That'd be a problem. All right, distributor cap and rotor bug removal is a success. So here's our rotor bug. My tools just blew off. I told you it's windy as hell out here today. This rotor bug is shot, corroded, burnt, all kinds of messed up. Here's our distributor cap. This is the main part of the ignition system right here. And it's not looking too good either. Definitely some corrosion. Luckily, these caps are numbered. Coil 642 and 315, so we'll know exactly where the plug wires go. We're going to change those anyway. Moving on. Just for comparison, here's the new rotor bug. And here is the new distributor cap. All right, climbing back under the truck, under the hood. I'm gonna sit the rotor bug back where it came from, right there. Now we're gonna be very, very careful not to drop anything here. What a pain in the ass. All right, we have the rotor bug installed. Now we got to do the distributor cap. Okay, distributor cap is in. All right, so now that we got that taken care of, it's time to replace the spark plugs, and I'm going to show you the spark plugs are way down here, and these plug wires attached to them. You can see there's one right there. There's a plug wire right here, and we actually have a spark plug which should be sticking out right there. I know it's probably a little difficult to see, but I'm only gonna go through doing a couple of these with you because there's just no reason in wasting all the time. It's the same procedure for all of them. So once we replace the spark plugs, then we'll get into replacing the plug wires. Today we're gonna be using AC Delco Professional. These are part number 41-979. These are the original equipment, double platinum plugs. Only plugs I will use on a GM. We're gonna be using my trusty magnetic 5/8. This helps to make sure the spark plug stays on, doesn't fall off, makes reinstallation a whole lot easier. And instead of using an impact, we're going to use a swivel head. This is one of my favorite ratchets ever. It's a Stanley, and the head will swivel in all kinds of positions. And as if that's not enough, if you need leverage, this thing is extendable. So perfect for doing stuff like this. I've had this Stanley for years, and I swear by this particular ratchet. Changing your spark plugs is a great way to increase performance, fuel economy, drivability, and it's always an excellent way take a look at the internals of your engine without actually looking at them. A spark plug tells a story, and take a good look. It's actually a pretty decent looking spark plug. What we want to notice on here though is that this is not the right spark plug for this engine. This is a Bosch or Bosch, however you want to say it, and this is an iridium, whereas this particular truck takes double platinum, so kind of overkill on the spark plug there. This is the spark plug that should go in this truck. So simply take our spark plug, almost put it in backwards. This magnetic adapter will hold it, carefully thread it back in. You don't want to cross thread it into the block. Thread it as far as you can by hand, and then just snug it with a ratchet. And that's how you change a spark plug. Pretty simple. Now, what we want to do is open up our new box of plug wires, which should have 7 wires in it. We're going to have one that's a coil wire. That should be the coil wire right there, so we'll set that to the side. The rest of these we need to lay out so that we can compare them to the plug wires that we take off the engine and replace them one at a time. So what I've done here is compared the old with the new. We've got them together down here, pull them tight, and you can see they are the same length. So we know that this one is supposed to go where we just changed the spark plug. So we'll go ahead and plug that on now so that we don't forget where it goes. Clip it on. We're going to route it back over here because that is where it belongs, and we're just going to leave it out of the way for now. Now we can pull off the next plug wire and change out the next spark plug. Personally, I always like to clean these mating surfaces up. We're going to do this to the engine and on this. And I use my drill with a wire brush. Try not to get myself cut up here, but you don't have to hit it too hard. All right, so we've got our new 195-degree thermostat right here. We're gonna toss it down in here. Want to make sure the gasket stays in place. So we're gonna kind of go from the top here. Sit it right there. And next, we take our cleaned up thermostat housing and slide it through. Then it's a matter of putting the bolts back in, which we've got one right here. There's one. Tighten that down with a ratchet or the impact later. The next one is a little more difficult to get to. It is back here in the back. But we got it. Now let's tighten this stuff down. All right, so before we bolt everything down and decide that we're satisfied with it, we're gonna put water in the system. Just temporarily. We're gonna fire it up, check for leaks. All right, now it's time to add the appropriate coolant, which is the Prestone DexCool approved coolant. A lot of people will argue and say this is horrible coolant and you should switch it to anything but DexCool. I've never had any problems with DexCool. So we're just gonna add the coolant now, and then we're going to run the engine with the cap off for a little bit, let it bleed. And then we're going to put the cap on to pressurize the system and check for leaks. Now for another gallon. All right, now we will start the engine and let it run. And bleed itself.
947-0911.
Heater is on max, so we get full circulation throughout the system. Well, we know the tune-up worked. It's running well. All right, so we have verified that it is up to operating temperature. The thermostat is open. Doesn't seem to be anything leaking. I've burped it. So now we are going to let it build some pressure so we can check for leaks before we clean up the mess and consider this job done. All right, that's gonna wrap up this video. We got the spark plugs changed, the plug wires changed, we got the thermostat changed, we dumped out the old coolant, cleaned out the system, and filled it up with fresh Dex Cool. Still gonna be keeping an eye on it for a while. Everything seems to be doing fine. The main issue I noticed was that the temperature of the truck never got that warm. And that can cause drivability issues as well as poor performance and poor fuel mileage. Truck's designed, every car is designed to be heated up to a certain temperature, and if it never makes it to that temperature, it can definitely cause a lot of problems. So I'm happy to say that after taking the truck on a quick drive and making sure that there were no leaks, the temperature is up to normal operating temperature now where it's supposed to be. It stays there. I'm really happy with it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This was, I got a little bit of a busted knuckles going on here, and we definitely got a little bit greasy, but we got it done, and there's more projects to come. So that's it. If you enjoyed the content, please give this video a big thumbs up. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing now. I certainly appreciate it. And stay safe out there. I will catch you in the next one.